Allow me to extend a warm welcome to all the viewers on the internet and around the world. It is sunrise on YouTube, morning on Facebook, noon on Twitter, midday on Threads, afternoon on Twitch, sunset on Instagram, and evening on Rumble. I am your host, the Ancient One, the Bachelor Supreme, the Phantom Menace, he who remains, and the master of the deceptive arts. We are broadcasting live directly from the sanctum of solitude and the citadel at the end of time. Hello everyone, it's the Ancient One here, the Bachelor Supreme, and the Phantom Menace, back again with another video. And today's video is really about why men tolerate blatant disrespect from women that they're in relationships with or a counterpart that they are in what I call the romance wars, or what some might term a relationship, right? The simple answer to this question is that they have to. They have no choice. I mean, what are you going to do? You cannot anticipate somebody's expression. You cannot anticipate if somebody's going to lie to you or insult you, right? All you can do is respond after the insult or the disrespect. But he was talking about the prognosticator. I was watching the prognosticator earlier today, and if you haven't watched him, the Speaker of Truth is a very powerful practitioner. But I was watching the prognosticator, and he was giving excellent advice as usual. But as I was listening to his advice, which was 100% correct, I started to realize that his advice was for the knee benders. His advice was not for the vasectomites, right? He described a situation and demonstrated also a situation where a man, a knee bender, obviously, but we'll assess the same situation from a vasectomite's point of view, right? But a knee bender takes his counterpart out on what is meant to be a special occasion. He puts on his finest clothes, he puts fuel in his car, he's got his money ready, and just in case something happens, he's got his debit card, and in case that falters, he's got his credit card. He's ready to entertain her, and she is dressed, looking beautiful, looking attractive, for the whole world to see and behold and appreciate. And off they go on a fairy tale evening to an expensive destination. And when they get there, in the middle of trying to woo her and entertain her and romance her, she then starts, or later, or during that evening, starts to spark a conversation with another man, a man who, as usual, hasn't done anything for her. Hasn't taken her out, hasn't paid for nothing, hasn't put fuel in his car, is not dressed in his best, is not on his best behavior. He has done absolutely nothing for her. And there she is, sparking a conversation with this guy, flirting, laughing, touching, hugging, doing whatever it is that people do with another man. And the man sitting there has no choice but to take this, right? If you address this, she can just simply say, oh, we're just having a conversation, right? When she should be there having a conversation with you, the one that's paying for this experience. And now you are paying for disrespect. You are paying to watch your girl give her number to another man, knowing that you cannot control whatever he says to her, right? Or what she says to him, or whatever plans they make behind your back, because they're doing it right in front of your face. You think they're not going to do anything behind your back? You got to be smarter than that, right? You have to anticipate what is coming your way, right? So in this case, what can you do? You call her out on it. It's too late. They've already bonded. They've already made a connection. They've already exchanged details. So what exactly are you preventing? Nothing, right? And if you harbor on this, or if you if you don't let this issue go, because you know now you're about to be made a fool of, and if you let it go, you are just confirming that you're a fool. But if you don't let it go, they'll call you insecure, they'll call you controlling, they'll make you feel guilty for anticipating the betrayal that is about to happen to you, which everybody knows is going to happen. Everybody knows it's going to happen. Why else would she be flirting with him if she didn't find him attractive? Why else would they be exchanging details if they didn't find each other attractive at some level? Even if they share something in common, that's enough to spark an attraction, right? Now, you know this inherently because you sparked a similar attraction with with the same counterpart or another counterpart. You know exactly where this is going, right? The difference is you are now paying for this disrespect. You are now paying to take this, and there's nothing you can do, right? Your only option is to walk away, which is not really an option at all. And I'll explain why that is after I give you the second scenario. There was a video depiction of a man who was leaving a restaurant with his counterpart. This could have been a skit, it could have been an advert, but this situation can occur to anyone. Where in this set of circumstances, a man with a motorcycle appears, and the woman is then all of a sudden interested on riding with this man, a complete stranger, on a motorcycle going Lord knows where, not knowing what could happen. They could fall off, get injured right there, and it would be your responsibility to now heal her. Now, he's like, don't get on that motorcycle. And she says, well, I've never been on a motorcycle before. The other gentleman says, get on. Right? He doesn't know her. They don't know each other. He says, get on. I'll take you on a ride. Right? Now, they're saying this in a funny, playful way, but this is not funny or playful. If they had changed the tone, if he had said, okay, get on, let's go, in the tone that I'm talking with now, it would have been completely different. But because she was laughing and giggling and being playful, he felt like, well, am I going to now stop her laughs and giggles? Am I going to remove her joy? Right? This is the situation you're in. She is now expressing joy by being with another man, and you are forced to be a killjoy. You are now in the defensive. You're the loser. Well, he's encouraging her to have fun and be free. You are now the anchor on her, around her ankle. Right? She deliberately put you in a situation where you would have to be defensive and controlling, right? Because if, like I said, if that guy drove 5 meters, lost control of that motorcycle, and she hurt herself, he would not pay a single dime to look after her. It would be all on you because you're the one that took her out to begin with. And even though you said, don't get on that motorcycle, didn't want her to get on that motorcycle, she got on it anyway. And there's nothing you can do to control that. In that moment, that man could have driven away and you would never see her again. Or he could have just went runs around the park, dropped her off, and be off with his day. But either way, you're not in that control in that moment. In that moment, she has yielded control to another man. And you, having been the one to take her out and pay on a date, and pay on that date, and pay for the petrol, and put on your favorite suit, are now funding your own disrespect, right? Now, another situation is when women accept drinks from men, which is a gateway to a conversation and other things. They accept gifts, they accept phone calls, FaceTime, right? Live screen chats with other men, laughing, giggling, right? giving the best of herself to him, and when she gets off that phone, all she has is bad attitude to you. And you see how that goes. So if she's laughing and playing with him and she comes back and she's like nasty to you, you see what situation you're in. You're now in the negative dynamic and she's in the positive dynamic with another man, but she doesn't leave. Right? If you're so happy with that guy, leave and be with him. No, she won't leave. Why? Because you are funding the disrespect. You're paying for her to keep disrespecting you when it should be your prerogative to leave. Right? But in truth, how can you? Right? In truth, how can you? The worst reason to stay with a counterpart is for you to chase an investment. And what do I mean by this? You've already paid for the date, the petrol, the food, you washed your car, you got your suit put on, you know what I mean? You've already invested in this woman. And now, upon seeing that this was a bad investment, you need to cut your losses, right? You need to know when you played a bad hand and you lost the money. What you need to always be focused on is the future money, because there's nothing you can do about your past money, right? So, but this goes beyond money, right? I mean, nothing goes beyond money, but there's another dynamic to this that is not strictly financial, right? Let's just put ourselves in this situation again. So she's just done flirting with another man, laughing, giggling. She just got off the motorcycle. She just ended the FaceTime with another man, and you're now upset. Who's that man? Why were you on that motorcycle? How could you be flirting with that guy? Rightfully, you are upset. And she responds with, I'm pregnant. She hits you with, I'm pregnant. And if she's lying, thank God, right? Then that's the end of the conversation, maybe. But if she is pregnant, then after receiving that disrespect that you just got, that you just paid for, you are now looking at a woman who you know is about to ruin your life. Because she's now pregnant with your baby, or so you believe, and she's flirting with another man, right? But what do you do? What do you do? What can you do, right? There's nothing you can do, in truth, except get a vasectomy, right? Except get a vasectomy. The prognosticator correctly made an assertion during the show, stating that, wealth, power, status will give you leverage in attracting particular type of women, in attracting the women that you are attracted to. True. True to a certain degree. Because these types of things happen to successful and rich men all the time. We have seen a billionaire's wife, a billionaire's woman, engaged to a billionaire, flirt with a movie star right in front of him, and the entire world justified it. We've seen women married to powerful rich men just fall on the knees, to their knees for another type of man, a man that you are not. We've also seen the inverse. We've seen superstar actors' wives fall for billionaires, right? So you've seen a woman that is with a rich man fall for a poor man for a completely different reason. It could be status, it could be charm, it could be attraction. We've seen a woman with an attractive man fall for a rich man. We've seen a poor woman's man date a rich man, and a rich woman's man date a poor man. This confusion happens all the time in the romance wars. You think being rich, successful, strong, tall, healthy is going to stop a counterpart from disrespecting you to your face. You are out of your goddamn mind. There is nothing you can do. These people don't even respect their own fathers. A person who raised them, gave them everything, and they'll turn around and tell this man they hate him and he ruined their life. And when it all falls apart, they go straight back to him, and the father will continue to take the disrespect. They don't even respect their father. You think they're going to respect your position in a company, or that you've managed to save a lot of money, or you've got stocks in billion-dollar companies? They will find a way to circumvent any advantage you have, and they will belittle you. You'll be a billionaire and she will flirt with a soccer player who makes nothing. You'll be a greatest, richest athlete in the world and she will flirt with a rapper who has nothing, or a YouTuber who has nothing. Don't think this won't happen to you. It happens all the time. But let's look at the same situation again with a vasectomite, right? You have to understand that going into this dynamic as a vasectomite, right? This woman has no and will never have a biological connection to you. You cannot get her pregnant. Whatever interaction you have with her is purely social, right? It's a purely social interaction. So if you find yourself, especially if she doesn't know that you had a vasectomy, right? Get your vasectomy and keep this thing a secret so you can see who people really, really are, right? You have to understand that because we will never have a biological connection, right, or a counterpart and a vasectomite will never have a biological connection, we are never going to have kids together. We are not tied together in that way ever. Whereas a bender always has at least a 30% chance that this person could be pregnant. There's always a realistic chance that a bender's not using a condom, has been intimate with a counterpart because that's their primary goal. And once you've been intimate with a counterpart, she could be out of hand. She could be completely out of control, right? And you're gonna stay there, and it might look like weakness, but it's actually caution. The knee bender knows that there's a chance that this counterpart is pregnant with their child and thereby has to wait and see what happens. Whereas a vasectomite, none of that even matters. None of that even matters. She could be flirting over there with somebody else and you pay the bill on this table, get up and leave, and she will come back and find that even the dishes have been cleaned off the table and you are long gone. That's a realistic option. Why sit around for somebody to disrespect you, right? Your investment as a vasectomite is minute to minute, play by play, case by case, right? If I like you in this minute, you stay. If I don't, I'm gone. It's just that simple. If I'm in a date with you or in a social interaction with you, and for whatever reason that social interaction doesn't go my way, I'm gone. We could be having the best date of our lives, and I suddenly feel like taking a nap, and I'm gone. What reason do I have to stay? What reason do I have to stay? I'm not married to you, and you're not going to have my kids, so who are you to me? Right? We're just having a social interaction. And outside of that, there's nothing. You right? So what she does in truth is only effective in this moment, whereas for the benders, there is always an ongoing consequence. So let's look at the dynamic where the counterpart gets on a motorcycle, drives off with another person, and hypothetical situation, the motorcycle, flips over for some reason and she hurts herself. She scrapes her body, maybe hurts her knee or something as the motorbike falls on her leg. Whatever happens, right? A knee bender might be inclined to go and save her from herself. A vasectomite will probably record the situation and post it and move on, right? Her actions have no bearing for you, right? A vasectomy is the ultimate way of self-preservation, right? It is the ultimate way of self-preservation. The second effect that this might have when this disrespectful situation when you are with a vasectomite is that Effectively, when you're a vasectomite, you assume zero risk, right? Other than that which you need or want to take for yourself, but you assume zero risk. The other guy takes all the risk. The knee bender takes all the risk, right? So let's say he does take your woman. Remember, the knee bender thinks that taking your woman is winning, right? They think that having a woman is an indication of success. They think that having a counterpart is an indication of success. They think that just regardless of how attractive the counterpart is, they completely forget that this person is going to grow old in 3 weeks. But they will think that by having a counterpart, especially an attractive counterpart, they have achieved some type of superiority, whether it's physically, romantically, socially. They will think that that will translate to other people seeing them as financially successful. Look at me, I've got a beautiful woman, therefore I am successful, right? And people will think that I am this, right? But they think that giving a woman is winning. But even more than that, they think that taking another man's woman is an indication of superiority over that man, if you can believe that, right? Especially if that woman claims to have loved that man and he can pull her away through his attraction, through his charm, through his so-called game, through his financial success, right? He thinks that he is now being victorious. But little does he know that he has tried to steal something meaningless from a vasectomite. All he has done is incur the risk that you are immune to, right? He has now taken the risk of getting this woman pregnant, being put on child support for 18 years, have 21 years of childbearing, of child raising, and all along be dealing with a bitter and unscrupulous woman. You're spending the next 20 years dealing with a woman that you stole from another man after she claimed she loved him, only to find out that he was never going to have kids with her, and now you have kids with this woman. And she is regretful. Don't let them find out that you had a vasectomy before all this started. Then it'll hit them that all the risk was always on them. The risk is always on the bender. This is why you need to get a vasectomy. Because they will come and disrespect you and use sexual intimacy as a weapon, as a whip against you, and they will use that whip on you day after day after day after day. Eventually, you'll catch them in your own bed, in your own home that you pay for, and you'll keep funding that disrespect over and over again. But with a vasectomy, any person that dare disrespect a vasectomite is guaranteed to suffer. You can play that part. You can just keep going. Just keep going. Let them keep disrespecting you. Let them keep disrespecting you until one day, boom, she's pregnant. And then you hit them with the news. Oh no, I had a vasectomy. Yeah, I got a vasectomy 10 years ago. This isn't my baby. You and the knee bender, you two got to go make this work. It's between you, the knee bender, and the child support court, how you're going to split this custody, and what type of schedule you're on. And don't let these kids have these afternoon and evening activities. Don't let them be gifted at sport. You'll be up Saturday morning, first thing, over there on the basketball court in the winter, all right? These are all consequences that the knee bender will face. The day he decides to disrespect a vasectomite, right? And just think about that, right? You now took on the responsibility of this woman from a vasectomite who had no problem, sharing his time, sharing his knowledge, his wisdom, his resources with a counterpart because he liked her, because he enjoyed her company, because she was socially acceptable, whatever his reasons are for being there and for her to be allowed to be in the vasectomite's successful life, right? Whatever those reasons, you come in with your disrespect and the counterpart goes out with her disrespect, and the two of you are cooking this dynamic where you think you're winning, you believe you're winning, and don't let that baby come out. Don't just demon spawn, as the prognosticator calls it. Right? Just come out a monster, as these kids usually are. And they'll turn 13 and they'll be big and strong and you won't be able to contain them. Right? And so disrespecting a vasectomite, as a knee bender would have to deal with, is always a loss for the knee bender and the counterpart. It is always a loss. There's no way that they can beat you, right? But if you believe that you can put your faith in money, if you believe you can put your faith in education, in fame, in success, in social media success and wealth, you are sorely mistaken, right? They will run your name through the mud because you are famous, right? Because you are famous, they will use they will use their perceived victimhood as a way to get famous too, right? To get some attention. If you are rich, they'll come for your money. If you are an acclaimed academic, they will, disrespect you and discredit you somehow, right? They will find a way. The counterpart always finds a way to belittle and to diminish and to disqualify you. But if you get that vasectomy, which is what every video is going to be about, I thought about changing the topic to talk about, I don't know, holding hands at the park or cats playing pianos, whatever these people are talking about, dating dynamics. What difference will those dating dynamics do for you? You have a vasectomy. You're a vasectomite, right? The minute you feel disrespected, you get up and you leave, and it doesn't make a difference to you. Or you can stay. You can stay. And another dynamic that I thought about was, once she gets off that motorcycle, you pull out your phone and you say, hey, ride again. Let me record that, right? It'll blow their mind. They won't be able to anticipate your responses, right? Once she starts riding on that motorcycle or starts flirting with that guy, you just stand there. You just stand there and accept it, right? This is who you want to be. Be this person, right? Nothing will give them more confidence to be with each other than finding out that you don't care. She'll do it more just to prove that you will care. And the more lackadaisical and nonchalant you are about it, the more she's gonna wanna prove it. And eventually, they're just gonna walk themselves down to the child support court and ruin both their lives, right? Whereas you, as a vasectomite, would have never been influenced by this at all. Not at all. It meant absolutely nothing to you. It never will. It never has, right? You are safe. So please, I'm a big advocate of money, but you cannot put your faith in money. I'm a big advocate of education, but you cannot put your faith in education. You also cannot put your faith in contraception. There is only one standard. And if you want to be successful as a bachelor, you need to get that vasectomy to protect your peace of mind, to protect your finances, to protect yourself from every type of scheme that they're going to come up with, because they have more schemes than what you have solutions. You cannot solve every kind of problem that the counterpart can do. You can only protect yourself. And your number one protection is never going to be money. It's not going to be your family. It's not going to be your family. It's not going to be your friends. It's not going to be the law. definitely not the law and not your education, it's only going to be that vasectomy. This is the standard. Get a vasectomy. This is the Ancient One with another heartfelt video. Thank you for your time and your attention. I always appreciate it.